Well, if you're gonna break your free hub, do it at the top of a hill, right?
So my weekend did not end up going according to plan, but we'll get to that. We arrived in Kerhonkson, New York for the event called Gunks Not Dead a little after noon on Friday. We went straight to work getting our camp set up. Then we went down and checked in, picked up our swag bags, picked up the empanadas we had ordered for lunch, and then it was pretty much time to head out on the group ride. It was one of the reasons we had gotten an early start in the morning, because we definitely wanted to be there and be set up and be ready for this. The ride was kind of a mini preview of the main ride that would be happening on Saturday. These events really have become my favorite kind of events. It's usually about 2 nights of camping, a main ride, possibly some other side rides like this one, food, bonfires, drinks if you want them, and all that kind of thing. It's just hanging out with a bunch of people who are like-minded and who are out there to ride bikes, whether they're going to be challenging themselves or just going out for fun. These trails here were the Lippman trails, and they were a lot of fun. We actually rode a bit of them 2 years ago when we stayed in Kingston for a few days before we went on to the event Nutmeg Nor'easter that we ride every fall. There was a GPX file of the route, but most of us ended up riding it as a group ride, a no-drop thing, and keeping it together mostly after we'd get off the single track.
These nuts.
The riding out here is so cool, these gravel roads and then these single track cuts. Really cool that the mountain bike trails and a lot of these spots actually kind of go somewhere, as opposed to here at home where I'm used to everything just being a loop you ride. One of the great things about having come to these kind of events for a number of years now is there's so much catching up with people that you only see at these events. And then also a lot of people maybe you've connected with somehow online, and then you get to put that face to the Instagram handle or YouTube commenter name or whatever it may be. And then you also start just to make a bunch of new friends, as everybody is there to enjoy the exact same kind of thing. And then when you do connect online, you get to watch what people are doing in the same space but in the places that they live. This ride was supposed to be about 20 miles, but at one point Miggy, the organizer, was like, why don't we turn around and cut it a little bit short, because there was all-you-can-eat pizza back at the campground. So I think we ended up doing more like 15 miles. This was a pretty fun ripping single-track descent on the way back. Bit of foreshadowing. Anyways, Gunks Not Dead might have looked a little bit expensive on paper for this kind of event, but they really did take care of you in a lot of ways. One, the facility was awesome, and there was a bathroom cart with actually flushing toilets and all that kind of stuff. On Saturday, there was a breakfast buffet, there was lunch out on the trail, and then there was also a really great empanada dinner. Also, drinks were taken care of. There was even a cocktail company, Catskills Cocktail Club, that came in and served drinks that were included on Saturday night. So yeah, the 2 nights of camping, the planned routes, a really nice swag bag, and all of that ended up working out to be really worthwhile. That evening, there was also a group ride over to a roller skate rink that was hosted by the Gates, Amanda and Kevin Gates. I ended up not going to that, one with my sciatic nerve pain in my back. I was not going to roller skate. I originally planned to go and just hang out and take photos, But I had a pretty nice seat right by the fire, and I was catching up with some people and just chatting, and I just never ended up getting up. So it's kind of how it went. This is when we were eating the all-you-can-eat wood-fired pizza, which was absolutely delicious. Also, to mention where the campsite was, the GoPro is flattening everything, but we were up on this hill with this awesome view of the Shawangunks Ridge. This is also a pretty cool view of what the pavilion looked like. I assume they hold weddings and everything like that there. I ended up going to bed the night before when the rain started to move in, and as you could see, it rained all night and it was raining in the morning. I decided to try out the rain cape. Mine's a Clever hood that I bought last fall. I bought it thinking that after Nutmeg, when I was going to do some bike packing, if it was kind of cold, that maybe it would work out well. I actually really liked it. The thing was, after we got about maybe 6 miles in and the weather was in the 60s, even though they're supposed to kind of be open to keep some airflow, it was still a little too warm to wear, and I ended up pulling it off. It was kind of that thing where it's like, hey, I'd rather get wet than get sweaty, but it was nice because the rain was fairly hard in the beginning, so it kept me dry, and then after I had taken off, the rain was light. I never even soaked completely through on this ride, but there's also other reasons for that. After a few road miles, we were onto a trail. I believe this is actually an old canal towpath, the Delaware, and I'm drawing a blank, but either way, old canal towpath, off onto the trails. A few people mentioned to me that the rain capes don't do that well if you don't have fenders, because you get just the spray up off the road. I was riding the bike with fenders this day, so it worked really well. It was actually at this closed bridge that we stopped to take our rain jackets and capes off, though. Here's another thing I just love about these kind of events. Everybody is just helping each other out, get our bikes up over that fence. When there were different mechanicals that happened a fair bit on this ride, people would be out helping each other. There was one the night before where a guy broke a derailleur, and seeing if anyone could help get him set up single speed, and I know this happened with flats and other mechanicals all day long.
What's my noise though?
So that squeaking you were hearing is just the way my bag is rubbing on the handlebars, but I could hear something unusual coming from the back of my bike. And that's what I was asking Brad. I was like, what's going on back there? Thinking my fender was rubbing in a weird way or broken. Well, it was neither of those things. At the top of a steep single track climb, I threw my chain to the inside of the cassette. Ben helped me get it out of there. We yanked it out, but then I noticed that my wheel was actually loose. So I tightened my rear wheel down the through axle, but then my pedals started spinning like my bike was a fixed gear. So turned it upside down, pulled the wheel off, and the cassette fell right on the ground. So I had broken an axle. I didn't really know that at the time, but I saw two pieces of metal that were supposed to go together that were no longer together. I got the advice to pull the chain off because, like I said, the cranks were just spinning, and this way I was able to coast. Everybody really wanted to help out, and they were awesome, but I sent everyone on their way. I'm like, I will get myself back. It's fine. And the good thing is, like I said, we were at the top of the climb, so I was able to get out to the roads, got some advice on where the gravel roads started, and I was able to do a lot of coasting. I was in decent spirits most of the way back. It was, just then that mission to get myself to the campground. And like I said, I was really keeping moving. And even on the flats, I was able just to push it like it's a dandy horse like this and move along. I think it is worth saying, though, even with the beautiful views, getting to chat and make all these friends, the good food, the drinks, I was really here for a ride. And it was really disappointing that I didn't get to be out there and do it.
I'm not sure if trying to dandy horse it and just push like Fred Flintstone is better or walking is better. I think as long as it's flat, walking is, nah, but we're gonna try. We're cruising. I've only had to walk like 10 feet. I really did break it right at the top of the climb. I stopped to take a picture, but I gotta cruise when I can. Skateboarding.
Yeah, for this actually slightly uphill false flat part, the standing on the side of the bike and pushing like it was a skateboard was the best option here.
The way back isn't too long actually, so without taking the trails, could be worse. One of those days, oh well. I mean, I'm bummed I can't do the whole ride, but it, like, being all upset about it doesn't do any good. Just keep coasting on back to camp.
The rest of the ride I missed did look pretty cool. I've been watching the Gunks Not Dead Instagram page repost everything, and these almost waist-high creek crossings and single track and just, I don't know, wild day out. So I did miss out. I got to hear everyone's war stories all evening though, and it was worth hearing and it was fun and I wanted to hear them. But yep, couldn't be out there with them, but ended up having a great night hanging out with everybody who was here.
All right, just gotta walk up the gravel drive and we're back. Get some dry clothes on, crack a beer. Maybe I can grab my buddy's candy. I locked it.
When I got back, there were a few other people who came back early because of broken bikes or broken bodies, or who just weren't feeling it this day in the rain. So I hung out and met some people and talked to them. And then Aaron came back after doing 20-some miles, and we decided to hop out for a while and check out this nearby brewery called Rough Cut.
Booyah! Booyah!
We got back from the brewery in time to see everyone start rolling in. The rain stopped, the sun came out. We went over to see what Catskill Cocktail Club had to offer and just started hanging out and having a good night. I should also mention the route was, I think, about 44 miles and a little over 4,000 feet of elevation. Anyone who was there could correct me in the comments on exactly what it was because I didn't finish it. But there was also a 103-mile route that had over 12,000 feet of elevation, and 2 people actually completed that one. So yeah, it was that amazing empanada dinner that I had mentioned before, and then a lot of hanging out. This is one thing I've talked about at these kind of events before too. I just know that some people consider themselves more introverted or more shy. You also don't have to be in the big group situation if you don't want to be. You could set up your tent a little farther away, do as much peopling as you want, and then, you know, you could also be in your own space. But a lot of people did choose to hang out around the bonfire, and there's even groups sitting around inside under the shelter. I woke up really wet. I think there was a lot of water underneath my tent, and I must have rolled off my sleeping pad a little bit, and then the water came on top. It was not a pleasant way to wake up, but I did have another set of dry clothes. So after the event, we headed off. We got some breakfast in a nearby town. We were originally thinking of maybe breaking up the drive on the way home, We had all kept Monday as an open day, but we were all feeling just making the drive and getting back to Ohio. So a shout out to Miggy and Ben O'Brien for putting on such an awesome event and all the people who helped them out. I know there's a number of people who were involved as well, Bradley and Tim, and yeah. And then all the people I met, it just was such a great trip, even though my ride didn't go the way I wanted it, which is just another reason that I'll have to be back next year. This was the second one, so I will see you at the third annual Gunks Not Dead. Thanks as always for watching. See you in the next video. Give this video a like. Peace.